Hey there, welcome to Bond. Recap Bond. Chapter 1, Paris. The story begins in Paris. We see an assassin sitting alone, looking out from a bare apartment room. His timer beeps and he almost drifts off, but later he wakes up in the same spot, still staring at the view. This time, he's focused, gloves on, ready for action. We don't know his real name, but we soon know him simply as the killer. He relaxes in his chair, puts in his earbuds, and watches the people below, just living their normal lives. To kill time, he stretches, does push-ups, and keeps a perfect posture that any doctor would admire. After a while, he leaves the room, going down several flights of stairs. Wearing dark glasses and a cap, he unlocks a rental bike with his phone. On the way, he picks up a few snacks from a cafe and answers a call. His contact assures him the target will arrive soon.
Give it our commitment. We cliché.
The killer says he's already waited 5 days, and he'll only wait 2 more. Back at the apartment, night falls. He sets up his sniper rifle and waits in silence. Suddenly, the door creaks. He spins around, weapon ready, but it's only a delivery man dropping off mail. Too close for comfort. By the next morning, he's still glued to the window. He thinks about how the hardest part of his job is the boredom. Most of the time it's just waiting, until it's time to make a scene look like poison, or stage an accident.
I've done my 10,000.
That's when it gets interesting. He sterilizes the sink, stretches out on his makeshift bed, and sets alarms so he can nap in short bursts, always waking to check the window. At last, there's movement. Curtains open, a car pulls up, and a maid starts preparing the place for an important guest. The killer reassembles his rifle and raises the bed for a clear view. More people show up. He puts on his hoodie, slides in his earbuds, and mutters a cold line, "I don't give up." As the target steps into the room, the killer follows him through the rifle scope. His pulse races, so he repeats a calm mantra to steady himself. He fires, but misses. The bodyguard instantly slams the blinds shut. The killer mutters a curse, quickly packs up his gear, and bolts. Helmet on, he speeds off on a scooter through the busy streets. Sirens scream in the distance. On the way, he tosses the rifle into a garbage truck and keeps moving, but police are all over. Pulling a move straight out of a Jason Bourne film, he abandons the scooter and races through alleys and staircases. After climbing a long flight of stairs, he dumps the helmet and heads into a filthy public restroom, gas station quality. There, he changes his look. With a quick disguise in place, he hails a cab to the airport. Just before boarding, he spots a Belgian Malinois sniffing around with security. Not worth the risk. He turns away, cleans himself up, buys a new ticket, and uses a phone booth nearby to report the failed hit. On the plane, he keeps an eye on a suspicious passenger but stays calm. When the flight lands, the airline offers hotel vouchers for travelers stuck by delays. He takes advantage. In the hotel, he rigs a glass on the door handle as a simple alarm, then rests on the couch. By morning, he leaves quietly, earbuds in, cool and collected, and catches the next flight. At his new destination, he rents a car and drives down scenic roads until he reaches a gated estate. Fresh boot prints catch his eye. Drawing a pistol, he climbs over the gate and follows the tracks to a mansion. Inside, he finds blood smeared on the walls. Alarmed, he makes a call. Something has gone terribly wrong. He rushes to a hospital through a blackout. There, a woman lies unconscious in a hospital bed. Marcus tells the killer she's in critical shape. He explains that his sister Magdala described 2 attackers, a man and a woman, and said she stabbed the man before locking herself inside a bathroom. Marcus believes they were hunting the killer but struck his wife instead. The killer stays by her side until Magdala finally wakes up. She assures him that she never revealed his name, not even when she was under heavy pressure. Relieved, he leaves the hospital and moves on to his next step. He digs out a hidden underground safe and, the next day, starts preparing to leave. While driving through town, he notices a car that looks just like the one that fled his home. Later that night, he orders an emergency ride. When the driver arrives, things shift. The killer checks his records and confirms this is the man he's been looking for. He sends a package to Dolores and starts watching her movements. Eventually, he spots the driver again, follows him, and casually asks for a ride. During the ride, the killer lightly taps his gun against the window. Terrified, the driver hands over his wallet, But the killer doesn't want cash, he wants information. The driver, clearly nervous, calls his passengers weirdos and says he was forced to drop them at a remote mansion. The killer shows no sympathy. He executes him without hesitation. Using a fresh fake passport, he leaves the country and heads for New Orleans. He makes a quick stop at a storage unit to hide his van and collect weapons, IDs, license plates, and, strangely, a banana. Soon, he notices a woman he knows as Dolores and sets his plan in motion, disguising himself as a garbage man to slip into her building. Inside, he studies the door's timing, takes a sip from a water fountain, and sneaks in behind another tenant. When Dolores sees him, she freezes in fear. The killer corners her, then turns his weapon on Aj. Aj instantly recognizes him, aware of his reputation, and tells Dolores to do whatever he says. The killer locks her in the bathroom, leaving Aj to talk. Aj admits he ordered the attack after the killer botched a major job. It's revealed that Aj was once one of the killer's handlers. He offers him one choice: disappear. He brags about how he built the operation himself, but the killer wants details, especially about backup plans. Aj swears there aren't any and believes he's untouchable. He's wrong. The killer fires a nail into his chest and coldly tells him he has 6 minutes to live. Aj dies instantly. The killer gets ready to finish Dolores, but stops when she claims she knows the names he's looking for, if he promises to keep things clean. His inner voice warns him that mercy is weakness, but he ignores it and cuts her loose. Sadly, she spots Aj's corpse and faints. After dumping the body in the trash, the scene jumps to later that night. Dolores now sits in the van with the killer. She screams and tries to escape, but it's pointless. In the end, she helps him go through files to find who ordered the attack on his home. Only one name surfaces: Claiborne, the client.